This is a short tutorial on how to construct tables within functional skills maths questions. Now, the most common place you'll see these type of questions are in task 1 section of the exam, and it'll usually be based on general percentages or number calculations, some kind of budgeting information, and that's what it's used for. It's used to summarize various pieces of information that you've worked out previously in the past couple of questions, let's say. So to start off with, we're just going to make up some data that we can put into this table. So let's say we've bought a certain number of items for a stock purchase. So we'll put number of items here at the top. And we'll have that equal to 10. Then say the cost per item that was equal to £2.50, say, per item. And then finally, we're going to have the total cost of the order, which would actually be equal to number of items times cost per item. So it's going to be 10 times £2.50, which equals 25. However, if you're not quite sure on that one in your head, you will always have a calculator. So we can bring that up and do 10 times £2.50, as I just said, and that'll give you 25 there. Okay, so that's the information that we're going to be using to create a table with. Now the key thing is here, a table consists of rows and columns. Now these titles here, if you like, they're going to be your titles of your table. So they're what you're going to put at the top of the columns. So if we draw it underneath, we'll start with the top one, number of items. Then we'll move across to, again, cost per item. Bear with me, the pen's playing up slightly today. Cost per item, and then total cost finally. So we're just going to have those at the top there like that. Then underneath those, you're just going to be inputting those numbers above. So we know that the items was 10, cost per item £2.50, and the total cost was therefore £25. And then you just want to split those up with some lines to distinguish these rows and columns. Now it would be preferable if you use a ruler when you're doing this, just to make everything a bit neater. Obviously I haven't got one to hand using it on the whiteboard. But that essentially is all you need to be doing for a table. It will usually tell you what to include in your table. So these things such as number of items, cost per item, and total cost, that's likely the things that it'll be telling you to include. So just bear in mind they're going to be your titles, like we've got at the top here, and underneath those are going to be the associated numbers. Like I said at the very start, those numbers you'll either be given them or you'll have worked them out in a previous question anyway, so you shouldn't really be doing anything new. Now one last point just to remember with this, a lot of people do get tables confused with charts. It's important to recognise the difference between these, just so you're not losing out quite a lot of marks in your exam. So I'm just going to draw a quick sketch of the difference. So a table, as we've just seen, consists of rows and columns with titles at the top. It's going to look something like that, with writing in there. A chart, this is where you'll have graph paper in your exam, so that'll be one clue. And it's usually linked with averages and a different type of numerical data. That's when you'll be plotting things such as a bar chart. You have to be drawing the correct heights, the lines like this. You'll have a number scale up here. Okay, so that's just the main difference between the two, so try not to get those two mixed up. And that's the end of the tutorial.